Hello, everyone. How are you doing? My name is Jim Hambel. Thank you for joining me today for this workshop called Get in Sync with Asynchronous and Synchronous Teaching. I do apologize that I'm not able to make it live today, but I wanted to share some EdTech tools, some other things, and I will show you everything we're doing. What's cool about though this is I'm going to teach you a couple different things that even though I may not be there live, I'll actually still be able to see you interact with the presentation today. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite things just because, like I said, I'm a New York City physical education teacher. And so what I'm going to be using is something called Pear Deck, which I know many of us might be familiar with slides, Google Slides, and PowerPoint. And I wanted to, so just kind of show you a little background before I even start. So this is something called Pear Deck. This is great because it is one of my favorite programs. You might have heard of it. You might even use it. It's like something else called Nearpod. It's basically an add-on. All you do is you go to get add-ons, then you would follow it. You would sign up. I even have a little surprise later on that I'm going to share with regards to this, because this is the premium version. The free version is really awesome, but for joining and coming today, I have something for those who are coming. So what's great about it is though that you don't have to worry about sharing permissions. You just go here. Once you're good, you click on these and you make it interactive. You just click start lesson. You press student, or you can do instructor pace, whether you're doing it live, unlive, but we're gonna go basic. But in case you were wondering, I always like to just, whenever I talk about Pear Deck, because I've talked about it a few times, I actually did a similar workshop for my entire, and this is what happens. So you just click the link. So that's what you're going to be looking at today. Okay. So like I said, my name is Jim Hambel. I'm very excited to be here today. Well, so this is welcome to Getting in Sync with Asynchronous. Pear Deck is always great because it always asks you how you're doing. I'm feeling great today. I'm actually going to tell you something about, that's me. So, and down over here, if you're wondering, Pear Deck is great. And I'm going to go over different features, but just to get you an idea. So if you see this on the bottom, this is an immersive reader. This will read whatever text you write on the Google slide. So whatever you can do with Google Slides, something like Pear Deck is great because the code, you share this code and it works on multiple devices, Chromebooks, iPads, Mac. I'm using my own MacBook right now, so it's a little bit before. And what's great about it is that I will be able to see, you as the teacher will be able to see in your teacher dashboard, like this, you'll be able to see this live. So let's get this party started. Thank you so much. I'm Jim Hambel. So I have a master's degree in childhood and special education, which actually it's part of the reason why I'm not here today, because I am remote teaching. So I was asked to teach a 4th and 5th grade bridge special education class. So that's what I'm doing. I'm also a phys ed teacher. I've had 8 years of phys ed. Right now I'm in elementary school in District 9 in the Bronx, which is right by Yankee Stadium. I also have childhood special education teaching experience for 2 years. I'm in the U.S. Bowling Hall of Fame. I am the SHAPE physical activity chairperson of the council. SHAPE is volunteer councils, and I am the chair of been since September 2019. It's a great opportunity if you want to get more involved. Was also just recently and proudly named the 2020 New York City for Elementary Section Amazing Person. So, the purpose of the workshop, I want to kind of go over the purpose of this workshop. We've been hearing the word asynchronous, synchronous, so we probably have some idea, and teaching and learning with regard to program philosophy. So we're going to touch upon that. It's not just going to be, here are some tech tools that you can do, but we're going to explore kind of work backwards in a sense, like what's your end goal, what do you want to do, and how do you do it? So we're going to look at some different tech tools. We're going to go over what asynchronous and synchronous teaching is, because for me, for example, I'm remote teaching. You might be doing hybrid, you might be doing face-to-face. So really, whatever the idea is, the hope is that you can analyze these teaching just strategies. Because like I said, if I was teaching phys ed right now, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is just good teaching practice. And hopefully that you can come up with something so that when you go back to your class in your school on Wednesday, you can, or whenever you're watching this, you can use it right away. So what's great about it here is that normally when you're teaching, when even a lot of times we always hear about the, oh, my students don't have their screens on, this and that. But what's great about Pear Deck in this is so this way you can do this live like I'm doing it right now, because all you need to do is this Pear Deck, this Google slide presentation, and you just share it. So take a minute to, what's been your experience? What has your experience been with synchronous and asynchronous teaching so far? Like I was saying, right now with the teacher dashboard, this right now is blank, but during the workshop, you would see it. I would be able to show you. I'd be able to show, and you could do it anonymously, and you could show you can show responses that the students are doing, and you could give feedback in real time. What's great about Pear Deck is I've done a lot of like, they actually asked me to make their phys ed template slides. Because you're taking a basic slide that just has a question, and you're adding this interactive feature of a question. And now that they have phys ed specific ones. But honestly, like this is great for any teacher. So honestly, my experience with this, I've been remote. I honestly have not been in my school since last March. And pretty much what I've been doing a lot of synchronous and asynchronous. So so we have a working definition together. When I say synchronous, I mean live. If I say live, that's kind of what I mean. Like going on Google Meet, going on Zoom. A lot of things like I will use these tech tools or these kind of activities to kind of have a common frame, and I just share my screen. What also works is that you could just, like Pear Deck, you have the code, you could just put it on Google Classroom, and students can, if they didn't come or if they want to go back to it, there's tools that like the immersive reader. You could also add audio. These tools make it easy so that you can take whatever activity that you love, and you could either do it assigning work, they could work on their own. I make my own YouTube videos if you've ever seen them. Actually, you're going to see one or two things in this presentation, but that's what I mean by it. So live teaching or assigning work. I know there's other definitions but basically what I'm doing is the goal is that it should be good for whether you're face-to-face, hybrid, remote, either doing one of these, that some of these will be able to work. And like I said, I want to say this is an introduction. I could have also called this workshop a few of my favorite things, like the song, but that's what I know. So what is the goal of your program? And so while you're thinking, right, I don't want to talk too much, I'm very excited, but students could do so if they forget to click this little button on the bottom, their work gets submitted automatically. I'm doing actually so what you are as a participant or the student, you're seeing it that way. I like to do it that way. So sometimes just, honestly, even fifth graders, I'm in a pre-K to 3K to 5 school. So this just good practice. That's just good for pedagogy. So this way you kind of do and share it with them. So you're kind of sharing the experience at the same time as they are. Because this is the teacher dashboard, and you could kind of go over it. What's also cool is that you'll be able to see, right now no students are logged in, but once students log in, you can put that on your Google Classroom or any other learning management system, and you'll be able to see who's logged in, and you'll be able to see at what slide they actually are. And you could use this code up here. Let me show you. You could click on this code, and that's the join code, or they could go to joinpd.com and you could give them this way. Because this works particularly well, because sometimes students, understandably given the benefit of the doubt, they sometimes will say, I can't get in, I can't do it on my computer. That's fine. So this way they can still participate at home, write a piece of paper, and they could always go in and just type it in and access it. So for me, understand where I'm coming from is that, I have my background in childhood and special ed, which interesting enough that to become, if you weren't sure, but to become a childhood certified Phys ed is actually, it's part of general education. It was actually phys ed questions in the test. I remember it clear as day. I remember there was a question on orienteering. So if you didn't know that, it's actually part of general education. But like I said, so whatever your elementary, middle school, high school, adapted. Sometimes when I do the workshop, I ask about that. But about honestly, like any of these things, they can do it. Like I said, I'm not claiming to be the master, but I want to present this way. And hopefully, like for me, when I discovered these, I had to teach them to myself on my own. And you can use it, and hopefully you have a basic, comfortable knowledge to kind of want to explore more of it. For me, my program is developing necessary skills for competency, confidence and motivation, physical literacy, allowing students of any level to participate, multiple entry points, minimal equipment. I know that's even just sometimes I choose to use no equipment. This is one of my favorite videos about literacy. And what's great about this is that you can embed it.
Here we have two kids, a boy named Sanjay and a girl named April. Sanjay and April are kids just like you, although they are cartoons. I guess they're not exactly just like you now, are they? Maybe I'll give them jetpacks. Why not? You know what? Maybe jetpacks are a bad idea. My bad. Now, we really want Sanjay and April to be happy kids. For that to happen, we want them to have fun being active and to learn to make healthy choices. But to do this, there are skills they have to learn first. Yeah, skills. Watch this. Sanjay, let's have you run a race. We'll draw a track here and give you a really tough opponent to run against. How about a cheetah? They're pretty fast. And let's put April on a baseball diamond. She can be playing against someone tough too. How about a team of elephants who use their trunks to hit the ball? Now, in order for Sanjay and April to get better at their activities, they have to learn some basic skills first. Think about it. If Sanjay hasn't learned how to run properly, he won't be able to run a race very well. And April won't really.
In the interest of time, this is a great video, and it'll be part of. I will also be sending and also make available the original presentation, so you could literally take these resources and use them. Just make sure you make a copy of the Google slide presentation. I'm just more than happy to. So this is a great video you can show to your kids. It basically explains physical literacy. And so I'm going to be sharing to you. So what's great about this is not just use this, use that. You really could combine, honestly, whatever your comfort level is, whether you're a school district, whatever your school, honestly, the sky's the limit. And here's a new term, vocabulary word. It's called app smashing. Hashtag app smashing, where you can take Pear Deck and a Bunce and you could put them together. So you could honestly make the best of both worlds. We're going to go over GIFs, which is not really an ed tech tool, but it's actually still a tool. Pear Deck, which we're using right now. Bunce, Flipgrid, Wakelet, Kahoot is another one if we get to it. And some of the activities, Help Students' Minds, Wellness Wednesdays, Tabata, Exercise Dice Game, Mood Meter Check-In. Whatever you have, honestly, basically, this, hopefully you're going to have some ideas so you can take something and make it just like this. Because I've used this before and it was great because I would just take it, add my teaching point, put a content where we would talk about cardiovascular endurance or muscular fitness. And then we talk about that. And then we would, have some activities and then I could assign it at the end. Boom, it's good. This is why it first drew me to Pear Deck. I love gifts. So I know it's not quite working, but you would have it so that you could take a picture and then you could just do it so that you get the cues of it. Really what the method and the madness behind this is that I want to be able to have them be able to articulate it. A lot of times in the classroom, the students will be able to articulate, and these are things that they've been working on every single day for years. They know the idea, but sometimes they just can't, they don't know the vocabulary. And because physical education, we have our own vocabulary, and sometimes they don't necessarily use it in everyday occurrences. This is why it's important for them to understand it. But also this works as like a rubric. Students and children have rubrics all day, pretty much every day, even as early as kindergarten. So this also kind of acts as a rubric or a checklist. So they say, okay, oh my goodness, I'm dribbling a basketball. So, and also I like to do a lot of cognitive modeling where I'm thinking to myself, okay, wait, if this doesn't happen, why does that happen? That's also a good thing to help engage students of any level. that kind of like cognitive modeling. This is one of my favorites. I got to give a shout out to Michelle Huff in New Jersey. This is a mindful scavenger hunt where, based on Health Moves Minds, which if you weren't, it's a great social emotional learning program. It's free. It's from Shape. You could also use it as a fundraising opportunity, but the games and everything are awesome. So I actually did this with my fourth and fifth graders. They loved it. So you put 4 or 5 minutes on the clock, and then you have them go. They go, and they come back. And honestly, you might be like, but it actually works. What I found is usually what works and what's fun is there's something like something that gets the kids up and moving. You don't want to be sitting down the entire time. So if I said, okay, go and get something square, go. Oh, it gives you lends itself to teaching points. Oh, is that really square, Jim? No, it's not. Oh, so oops, I gotta go get something square. Okay, cool. And then you kind of like not just doing activity, but there's also educational benefit to it. And these are just basic things that really pretty much any student can find in the house. There, it's fun, it's unique, and you can probably do it. Hybrid wise. I think that would be a great opportunity. And all this that matters is just putting some text and also putting a timer. And if you go to YouTube and count 5-minute timer for students, that's pretty much what pops up with music. So this is one of my favorite aspects of Pear Deck. It's drawing. And what you literally are saying, so if we did this or that Tabata, if I said, pick 2 exercises that you want to do, they could do the text feature, jacks. They can also do squats. They can also draw. And I want to do so the students, I went to a good phys ed school. I didn't go to a good art school. So they want to do jumping jacks. And it's really cool because you can do all kinds of that. And the drawing is they literally get to interact with the slide. And it's just fun. So then they can also have their own Tabata. And they can depth of knowledge level 4. They're synthesizing analyzing, making their own thing. So Tabata is a good one. So in Tabata is 20 seconds, as many as they can do. So you could talk about level of effort, level of exertion. And like I said, things like that just kind of like are simple enough that like I've used this many times where I've actually had at the end of the school year, a lot of students were like, I was saying, what are some things I could leave for you to do over the summer? And they said Tabata. So I felt good about that. Tabata is good, Mind's Moon. Just things that are fun, just get up and measure unique. And using the Pear Deck, even at the little ones, this is good literally. This also is good for the little ones. That this drawing feature, they love. They absolutely love. So let's go into a couple of things. So this is my mindful minute. I love app smashing because what's great about this is the website. So on a Google slide, if you hit the website part, you can do a text card, and then you could also have a video going at the same time.
Welcome back to
and
another
it plays.
episode of Hambel at Home.
What's great about this is that the students don't have to toggle back and forth. They can seriously just see it right as it is.
Today I'm sitting down in a nice comfortable position because I'm going to be doing something called
Let's
the
do this
mindful minute, which is exactly what its name sounds like. I'm going to be sitting here for a minute and I'm going to be trying to be mindful so that I can be aware myself.
I made my own YouTube channel, Hambel at Home, alliteration. But I mean, there's plenty of videos. I mean, if you go to Becky Fulmer's website, cbhpe.org, there's all kinds of things from like dance. I'm not a great dance instructor teacher, but on Twitter, there's always great resources. So literally, and people just want to share the resources. It's a great time in the phys ed world community that we're sharing. We're coming up with such great content. And it's not just, here's a screen, take a look, which, there's a time and a place for things like a noodle. But the greater thing about this is that it gives you the opportunity to be creative so the students can see you. Because even though this technically, it really is, you can actually make the video and even teach with it, because this technically would be just like levels of teaching. If you notice, Bunce, I like the app smash because Bunce handles uploading YouTube really well. And when you do a Bunce, you can see that this is actually the site that in itself. This is actually the site. So it's not just like a mirror. It's Pear Deck and Bunce together. So, and you can see this because students can like it. They can put a view with Bunce. You can have them even log in and they could, oh, it has its own immersive reader, which is a great tool. So let's do a mindful minute.
I could try to make myself calm. I'm going to try to de-stress. I'm going to just focus on my breathing and feeling safe. And this is really great because it's all about you.
That's the key, making it all about you, the student's choice, which is great now because I found in my personal experience that students want to do it. They really want to. I mean, I've taught basketball to my students without using a basket or a ball. Even just going is actually one of my favorite activities. Oh, after that. So what's great about Pear Deck and it's all about, so you could have them draw, this is called a drawing. So you could even just do it. And you could just insert this in the middle of a lesson. What's great about Pear Deck is that it's not one time. Sometimes like Google Forms, it's one time and you're done. They can actually go back and they can look at it. Open Phys Ed is a great one. This is one of my favorite. Actually, so as you can see, it's one of my oldest one. It has a, which is also good because you can see if you put it, if students are actually accessing. What's great about these things is that you can, it incorporates for data. So you're not just throwing it out into the web and just saying, okay, I hope they come. You could actually stay accountable and you could do it. With Pear Deck, you could, and after I'm done with this, I could go back in a week and I could say, Pear Deck will actually send me an email saying, okay, Jim, you did 5 lessons, you had eight students, 27 moments of engagement. Wow. So it means that I came back with a couple of them. So it gives you that kind of example. It also gives you data. This is one of my favorites because you click on it, it also will take you to, so it's right there. It's one-stop shopping. It's easy for you. It's easy for the students. It's also great about it because they also come, this is Bunce. I love Bunce. This is Shadow Sports. I took so we talked about choosing your activity level. So that also is that it makes the students want to replay it and do it on their own. I love Bunce because I made my videos. Like you took a green screen, which is, you'll learn, believe it or not, making videos for YouTube is a science. You could add a little music. My old school Mega Man 3 friends. Immersive reader, so then they would click on it and the video plays right then and there. And this is all about Shadow Sports, where they're playing without an actual tool and just going through the motion. And of course, this lends itself to so much. Because I wouldn't sometimes maybe advocate. You could do football, you could do baseball. And as we speak, Open Phys Ed is probably coming up with new things. These are ones that I found in the last spring. But my students loved it so much, I kept using it. I'm sure we've all heard of the virtual classroom. I use Bunce to make my own. Oh, wow. 6 likes, also good on Bunce. So you could use it. Help Moves Minds has activities for the family. So you could leave it there. I made a daily physical activity Google form where they could actually have. So there's really lots of cool tech things. The council that I chair, we're the ones that are making the Help Moves Minds. I shouldn't say that, but the mind and body calendars that come out from Shape every month. So you could do this. I actually sent this to my staff and my community, my school community, and I've heard nothing but great feedback so far. Help Moves Minds also has great things where they have these great student-friendly posters you could do. And what's great about Bunce is that they're a company in New York. These are companies I'm also advocating for because a lot of companies do, some of them are not free like Pear Deck, but they really listen to you. When I went to Bunce, a lot of them have ambassador, a lot of them have certification programs. I went to Bunce and I say, let's work together. I noticed you didn't have a lot of phys ed stuff. And their response was, can you do it for us? Let's work together. That shows to me that that's a company that I want to work for. Not work for, but I wanted to collaborate with. And Bunce is all about community of teachers, which means it's not just, we may come out with some things, but these are companies that I really, and these are programs that I think that are fun, they're easy to use, and they have a big difference. Bunce also just came out with something called, for the app on the phone, if you have an iPhone or any kind of app, they have a thing where you can make an AR, or augmented reality. And they have new apps. I'm sorry, they have gifts, I should say. They have gifts for exercise. So I kind of made this little exercise adventure. Which is cool because I actually took a video. It's not working now, but I actually put a little in real time. You have a little gift person exercising, and I went, oh, and I, it was funny. It was just kind of, and it was just some of my kids, my students were like, huh? But a lot of them, I thought it was funny just because it was so new and unique, and that's really what they want. Bunce, as you can see over here, this is kind of how you do. You can upload it. It's really, and this is what you can make. This is honestly, literally what I created. Games and activities like dice game. This is actually one thing I did for the games exec. So, oh, we could put in, so games like this you can leave. So this is a scorecard, so in case they forget it. But this one, they could actually, you could do a duel. Like when you do field day, you could put the game on the left, and you could put a video of you doing it or a scorecard or something. Then they roll it. And then they have to do it. And the gifts, so the way with the gifts is that it works really well. Here's another one I love, Flipgrid. This one is totally free. This one, a lot of phys ed teachers have done. A lot of these things that if you go and you look up and you're like, I don't know how to use it. I'm not sure what to do. There's already phys ed teachers in the community. Flipgrid is definitely one. Flipgrid, I absolutely love because as you can see over here, so this one I actually took from another teacher and I actually edited and copied it. And I just basically had them say, what activity should I do? I'm always providing and suggesting things. What's something you should do? And you share this code. And actually, I want you to do that. You could scan the code on your phone. And I made it so that all you have to do is scan it. So right now there's no responses, but all you have to do is you click it, you join with your email, it's me, and then you record the response, and then you can see it right there. And all the students can respond to it. You can see it. And it's cool because if you're wondering, like, wait, is it going to catch? One time I had a student kind of mutter a word and it picked up on it. She totally wasn't trying to do it on purpose. But these are pretty technology. And these are companies that are always trying to come up with new things. And they're really trying to be helpful in this time. And they understand it, which is great. One of my other favorites, so if you're not sure, one of the wellness series we do on a weekly events that at first, honestly, started with Melanie Levenberg that were designed just for adults, but now it's kind of moving over to, you could take these videos. So Wakelet is also a great one. If you're familiar with Padlet, it's kind of the idea where I could have just made a website. I could have just listed the links and just kind of, but what I did was I took this is a Zoom video for Victoria Otto, who's going to be doing yoga on Wednesday night at 8:00 p.m. Free, always free. But you can click here and down over here. If you look in this, you can also, this is the entire, oh wait, these are awesome, great. Here's a Awakening Wellness log. So you have the students watch a video, especially the older students, secondary, they watch a video, they answer some question. Thanks to Ann Paul Nielsen from Arizona. What's great about this in this time is this silver lining is that I've been able to collaborate and get ideas that you don't have to do it alone. There's so many people in New York, across the country. I've honestly talked to teachers in India and Guam, all over the place. So come over here, and now these are videos. You could just take a look, boom, pop it in, and then you could do it. Wakelet is great because then you could search other people's. I love Wakelet because it's free. And Wakelet's community design, so that when you create a collection, if you want to give it also has followers. You could search your collections. You could search other people's collections. I even just did this one today. How was your weekend? You create a new collection. It's super duper easy. It's free. And I'm hoping not going over too much time, but basically you would create it. You can make it private so that everyone would do it. How are you feeling? You add a coverage. It's super duper easy. You control it. Same thing. For me, I just give the copy link to my students. And this is also cool. Once the students, they can collaborate, they can click edit collection and they could add text. If they want to add a tweet, if they want to add a picture of something, you could also use it for if you want to make a video, boom. This is also powered by Flipgrid. So once the video is on there, it goes right on the page. And so this is very community based, especially if you have administrators that are looking for that. That's also a good opportunity to add that to your collection. So Wakelet. So now I've said a lot of things. I wish I could talk more, but I want you to take a minute. I want you to tell me about what's something interesting you learned today, and what did you learn today that you could possibly implement tomorrow? In the interest of time, thank you so much for coming in and joining. I hope this is not the first time that we speak. I'll be more than happy to. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, jphambel@gmail.com. I always say it's like the soup. It's like Campbell's soup, but with an H. Or you can follow me on Twitter, Jim in the Gym PE. Every single week, I'm always trying to collaborate with other phys ed teachers, even just classroom teachers. I feel like I try to absorb everything from everyone. And thank you so much for attending. I hope you learned something. I hope you have something that you could go back on tomorrow. What's great about these tools is that once you sign up for them, you'll be able to, they're just fun to play with. And I'm also going to share a free, because Pear Deck has been so wonderful and such a great partner, that they've given me a free 90-day premium access code, which I will share with you, and as a thank you for attending. Please reach out to me for any other questions. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much. This was an honor. Thank you so much, New York State AFERD. Thank you so much, Laura, for moderating, and have a great day.